Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Maggie and I'm so glad that you're here. I love talking all about natural, non-toxic pregnancy, motherhood, and life. So if you're into that, I would love for you to subscribe and stick around. Super excited because today I'm going to be sharing common questions asked about cloth diapers. So a couple weeks ago I did a breastfeeding Q&A. It was super fun. I love making videos like this, so I'm excited to answer some questions. But before we jump in, I'd like to mention that I recently created a guide on 5 easy ways to optimize your fertility. If you're anything like me, you may not be a mother or pregnant yet, but planning on getting pregnant in the future. And if that's the case, this guide is perfect for you. So it's 5 easy ways to optimize your fertility, plus over 20 tips on how to sustainably implement these things in your life. So if you're interested in that, I'll be sure to link it in the description box so you can head over and get your free guide. So without further ado, we'll jump right into the questions. The first question is it good for the environment? So is cloth diapering good for the environment? So the answer to this is mainly yes, but could also be kind of no. So yes, it's good for the environment because it takes over 500 years for disposable diapers to decompose. And that's your traditional like Pampers or Huggies, Loves, whatever brand. It takes a very long time. They're made of mostly plastic, so they just sit in the landfill, not decomposing, and also leaching toxins into our soil. No bueno. It's also crazy because not only will we never see these diapers fully decompose, but when you do use disposable diapers for your child, typically you use them for about 2 years until they're potty trained. And in that time period, the average amount of diapers to be used is about 6,000. So if everybody uses disposable diapers, there will be so many. I mean, there already are so many diapers just sitting in the landfill, which is crazy. The other aspect to this question is that you do use more water. And I like to think of water as kind of a renewable resource. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but it seems plentiful. And I would prefer to use a little bit more water each week than have tons of toxic diapers sitting in the landfill. That's personally me. That's my answer to is it good for the environment? And that leads me into the next question. What about water consumption? So typically you wash your cloth diapers every 2 to 3 days, and it's just one extra load of laundry. If you're like me, we pretty much do laundry 5 to 6 days a week. That's including the cloth diaper load. So I don't really feel like we're using that much more water. I looked up and the national average cost for water, if that's your concern, is about 17 cents a load. So I don't really know if the water consumption is that big of a deal. I guess you would have to make that judgment yourself. The next question that I have is it cost effective? So like short-term costs versus like long-term investment. So I've got some notes here on some prices. So I want to say thank you everybody who attended my baby shower. We did not actually buy any of our cloth diapers. Most of them, maybe we bought 5, but most of them were gifted to us. But if we had bought all of them, it would have cost about $750. We use Grovia all-in-ones, and they're a little bit more expensive, but we have 30 diapers. And I also then added water 2 times a week for laundry for 2 years, because that's how long you will use the diapers, which is $35. Then I added the laundry detergent, which is about $40 for 2 years for the detergent we use. I added the cost for buying disposable wipes and came up with the total that the upfront cost for cloth diapers would be about $865. So with that cost, I like to think like, yes, it's like almost $1,000. However, the diapers we're going to have forever. The elastic usually is what goes on these diapers, but you can replace the elastic if you know how to sew, which I do. So we can use these diapers for pretty much all of our babies as long as we take good care of them, which I do my best to do that. So I look at that $1,000 as I spent $1,000 to have diapers literally for all of my children. On average, disposable diapers for 2 years cost $2,000. So if you're like me and you plan on having multiple children, that's a lot of money. Right now we've decided on 3. So if we were to go the disposable route, that's $6,000 compared to $1,000 roughly for cloth diapers, which that's a lot of money to be saved when you really look at the big picture. And also in the short term, you know, we saved $1,000 just by cloth diapering our first son, which is pretty cool. The next question I have is it sanitary? So it is sanitary with the proper wash routine. So there's a couple of no-nos. You don't want to let your dirty diapers sit for more than 3 days because it creates like ammonia, which is harder to get out, and it can smell really bad. And the other aspect to that is you want to get the poop off the diapers before putting them in the washing machine, or your washing machine will be dirty. So you don't have to rinse your poop if you are only breastfeeding, because that poop is water soluble. It will just rinse right out and wash down. But when your baby starts eating solids, the poop is not water soluble. So we got a handy dandy spray pal that's on the side of our toilet that we actually don't use. Thankfully, my husband cleans the poopy diapers. I'm very grateful for that. But he just does the old-fashioned way of like sticking the diaper in the toilet and swishing it around, which may sound unsanitary, but you know, it's a clean toilet, clean water, not super unsanitary, and we're washing them. So that leads me into what is my wash routine question. And so first we rinse the poop off because our son eats solids. And then I throw them all in the washer. Usually it's like 15-ish diapers, maybe less, maybe 12. And I do a hot rinse cycle first. So I just do one rinse. And then I do a normal cycle on hot water with borax and our laundry detergent. We used to use Nellie's laundry soda. Don't feel like that was super effective for the diapers. So we switched to BioClean Brie and Clear powder, which I do think is super effective. It's also recommended by the diaper brand that we use. So do that, run the cycle, and I always do a second rinse at the end. So sounds like I use a lot of water. I might, you know, it might be a little bit more expensive for the way that I do it, but I think that it gets the diapers really clean. Once they're all washed, I then throw them in the dryer on delicate or low setting for 90 minutes, and they dry, and I fold them, put them away. That's the whole shebang there. So that leads me into what diapers do I use. So I actually have one here, and I talk about these a lot in my other cloth diapering videos, which if you haven't seen, you should definitely check them out, all about my journey and some thoughts I have so far on cloth diapering. So I use Grovia organic all-in-ones. So I love these. This is the Butter style. So the outside is like this soft kind of material, but the inside is organic cotton, which I love that because I'm super into non-toxic. So I know that there's no chemicals or toxins or plastics like near my son's genitals, which like that's my favorite part about cloth diapering, honestly. So the all-in-ones are great, so everything is attached. It's like the closest thing to a disposable because you don't have to like stuff or anything. But yeah, we love these diapers. I love this brand. They're cute patterns and stuff, but super great diaper. So that leads me into the next question, which is, what are the different kinds of cloth diapers? So I just mentioned the diapers that we use, the all-in-ones, which are most like disposable diapers. They're usually the most expensive. There are other diaper kinds. So I'll just go down the list for you. So you have pocket diapers, which they usually are, the waterproof outside is attached to like a fabric inside, which is a pocket. And so whereas the all-in-ones, you have the absorbency layers attached, the pocket diapers essentially would look like this, just the shell with a pocket, and you would stuff the absorbency layers in there. That didn't seem like something I'd want to do. Seems like too much work for me. The next style of cloth diaper you have is called a fitted diaper. And a fitted diaper is essentially the absorbency has the snaps like this all-in-one. So the absorbency layer, just the inner fabric, has the snaps, and you snap that around your baby. And then you have a separate outer layer, which is the waterproof cover that you then put over the inner. So with those, you need tons of inners, like the absorbency, but you don't need that many outers. Like you can have less. So that might be a little bit more cost effective. So we have the all-in-ones, we have the pockets, we have the fitteds. Then you have pre-folds. Pre-folds are, I think, the most inexpensive. So you would get the outer absorbency, but then you get kind of these big pieces of fabric. This is an organic pre-fold here, and you fold them around your baby. There's ways to do it online, but essentially you kind of just, I don't know how to do it. Seems like a lot of work. I have a friend who does it, but you kind of just fold it up and you put it around your baby, and then you use snaps to hold the inside on your baby, and then put the outer part around it to not have any leaks. And I believe those are all the different kinds of cloth diapers. I only use the all-in-one, so I'm not super familiar with the other ones, but you guys asked, I answered. The last question that I have for this Q&A is, does my husband like it? So I talked about this in a previous cloth diaper video. I don't know which one, but he does like it. When we first started cloth diapering, around 3 months, our son was just big enough to fit in our cloth diapers. So these all go from 10 to 35 pounds, so not a newborn, unless your newborn is 10 pounds. Our son wasn't. So the diapers, you know, we had them on the smallest setting. They were really bulky and just seemed like hard and kind of stiff and uncomfortable on him because he was so small. I'm sure they weren't uncomfortable. I've read tons of things about how comfortable these diapers are, but we didn't like them for that aspect, and he was kind of, my husband was kind of turned off about that at first. But when we reintroduced them, when my son got a little bit bigger a couple weeks later, we loved them. We had a lot of issues with leaks and blowouts in the beginning. Like we have tons of poop stains on his clothes, and we had to change his sheets very often because he would pee overnight and it would get everywhere. And so when we started using the cloth diapers, we stopped having leaks and blowouts, and it was just so relieving for both of us to not have to clean up that mess all the time. And yeah, it was, because we used the all-in-ones, it wasn't that much of a transition from disposable diapers, because it's just like the only thing that's different is instead of having the Velcro, you have the snaps. And the snaps, once you get the hang of the snaps, it's easy. It's easy peasy. You know, you just kind of, once you figure out the right size, you just kind of stick with that size until you're like, oh, this needs to be adjusted a little bit bigger. And then you just go with that until, you know, they get bigger. So yes, my husband, he loves it. Like I said earlier, he cleans the poop part. I don't think he minds. Our son, he poops like once a day now, so there's usually like 2 or 3 poopy diapers every time. Not that big of a deal. But overall, we've really enjoyed cloth diapering so far, and if you are considering cloth diapering, I would definitely check out a bunch of other resources about cloth diapers and kind of get a feel for what it's all about and what the journey looks like, because, you know, it can look different. Like my journey looks different than other people's journeys. But I think what's really important when embarking on the cloth diapering journey is understanding that your journey too will look different than other people's journey, and however you make it work for you is like what's best for you, and it doesn't have to look like anybody else. Like, we cloth diaper 90% of the time during the day. We do it when we go out and stuff, but we use a disposable diaper at night just so that we have longer lasting absorbency, and that's what works for us, and it works great. But yeah, that's all of my stuff that I have on cloth diapering Q&A, kind of where I'm at with cloth diapering. So if you like this video, I would love for you to give it a thumbs up. And yeah, you can head over to my Instagram. I'll put the handle here. And yeah, I will see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching.